Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am building a very nice simple modern vacation home and was actually inspired by some Airbnbs that I've seen in Joshua Tree, which is based in California. They provide very nice luxurious Airbnbs for people who are looking to stay in like a very nice area, and it's very privatized, it looks very nice, and so I wanted to replicate the same sort of style in The Sims. And since they were mainly based in a more deserty environment, I decided to build in Oasis Springs on a 30 by 40 lot. And yeah, so the build turned out very nice. I really enjoyed building this, and especially since I've taken a break and came back from being away from posting for a while, I think it was a good idea to just start with something very simple and work my way up again. And yeah, so this house had about 3 bedrooms and all of them had their own ensuites, and yeah, this house turned out really good. The house is quite boxy on the outside in terms of it looking very simple, but I tried to not do that on the inside, and instead I added like a lot of interesting like walls and bits that poke out. Even if it wasn't functional, I tried to add like doors to try to add some more details into the space. And one of the Airbnbs I saw actually had a black kitchen which looked so nice, and it had very nice silver accents, so I tried to like replicate the same thing in The Sims. And yeah, I tried to add the oven on top of the cupboards rather than below the stove, so that it gives it a more like luxurious feel. I wanted this house to have an island, and I made it as big as possible, so I put 2 counters on top of each other, and I'm using the corner counters from Island Living to get the waterfall look, because most of the Airbnbs that I was looking at, they had the waterfall on the edges of the kitchen island counters, so I wanted to replicate the same look. And then I used the tool mod to lower them down so that they don't glitch with the actual counters that I wanted to be visible. And yeah, I tried to fit all of the basic appliances into the kitchen, and I didn't want to actually make the island too big, but I noticed that the sink wouldn't fit or it wouldn't look right near the stove, so I just decided to put it on the island, which I think turned out really good. There was one specific Airbnb that I saw had gold accents throughout the kitchen, so I tried to add most of that gold by using the stools for the island counter. And these lights that I'm about to use, I wish they came in like some sort of gold color, because it would have matched so well with the stools, but instead I just went with something that looked similar. I think I went with a plain black, yeah, and it was like a black and navy, I guess, and I used the short and long version of the exact same lighting to make it look like it's more interesting, I guess. And yeah, this space is quite small, but then again it is a vacation home, so I don't want to fill it up too much, as your Sims wouldn't really, you know, stay here for a long period of time. And I wanted to add a desk in this corner in case you wanted your Sims to have some activities being done throughout their vacation. And I didn't really add I added a desk in the corner in case you wanted your Sims to be able to interact with skill building items while they were on vacation. So even though I didn't really add a laptop or anything there for skill building, it's possible to do that if you just like remove a couple of the books and just replace it with something else. And I added a painting above the desk to just like fill up the space and make it look nicer. In the Airbnb that I saw, they had a very nice circular glass table that we still don't have in The Sims for some reason, but I tried to replicate it and it didn't turn out right. I wanted an L-shaped couch here, but I didn't know what was cozy enough or comfortable enough. The Dream Home Decorator ones were really nice here, but they didn't look as cozy. Like they look very, I don't know, like leathery, I guess. It wasn't really the vibe I was really going for this house. So I switched it out with these ones and they look way more cozy. I also noticed that there was a fireplace which was kind of like in the middle of the room. And what I mean by in the middle of the room is that it was kind of like off to the corner, but it wasn't placed on top of a wall. So it was kind of just like there, floating in the living room. So I wanted to replicate that, but I noticed that we don't have anything similar to that, as all of our fireplaces have to like stick onto a wall. So I tried to fake it in a way, and I placed this sort of like in the corner. Although it isn't levitating and the smoke pipe, I guess, is not really attached to anything, it doesn't really make any sense, but I just really wanted to capture the exact same essence that the real house had. I also tried to make sure to add as many curtains as possible, as this house was described as being more of like a glass house, and just like trying to add to the realism of adding some privacy into the environment. I wanted to make sure there was as much curtains as possible, add some more realism as if the curtains closed completely, and I made sure to replicate that in every single room, as most of the rooms had like these really big glass windows. There were 2 bedrooms that consisted of having double beds, while the third one only had 2 single beds in it, which I assume was to cater towards having a vacation with your children as well. So I wanted to replicate that, and I did make sure to do the exact same thing in this build, because it is kind of realistic to go on vacation with your children as well. And I tried to make sure to observe each of those bedrooms carefully to incorporate the exact same, not the exact same, but similar decoration styles. As if it was up to me, I would just usually keep up like extremely simple, and I wouldn't really like adding a lot of clutter and stuff in it, because that's just like my preference. But these vacation homes consisted of like a lot of like detailing on like the bedside drawers as well as above the bed. Like there was like a lot of like random details like ropes and lights, so I wanted to not copy it but make something similar and be inspired by it. And I think I went a bit overboard with those Simlish writing things and the lights, but I think it turned out pretty good. Initially I wanted to also add a double bed in this room as well, but instead I actually wanted to cater towards the image that I was looking at, and I wanted to replicate it. So instead I just included 2 single beds, and they were using a lot of very interesting furniture pieces. This bedside table actually ends up getting changed because it looked way too big, and I found something else that looked way more appropriate for these 2 beds side by side. And each room had a different way of a different lighting fixture, as this one with the 2 single beds had the fan. And yeah, I just wanted to make something similar to the one that I saw in real life, because I genuinely really liked the way that looked. And moving on to the master bedroom, this was like the biggest bedroom out of all of them. I just added like a simple wardrobe, added some basic stuff. Most of the TVs in the bedrooms were like off to the side rather than like straight in front of the bed, which is way more realistic than putting the TV directly in front of the bed, I guess. And I went with like a very simple color scheme for this bedroom. I didn't really know what it looked like in real life, but I just wanted to keep it plain and simple. And I wanted to add a jacuzzi, the main swimming pool of this build. And I added some, I think they are for plants, those jets, but instead I used them as like water jets as if it was for the jacuzzi. And I played around with some terrain, and I placed a lot of rocks and stuff to match the environment. I tried to use the exact same rocks that were in Oasis Springs so that it looked like it really did fit, because without those rocks it just looked like it was a plain square in the middle of all of the rocks around it. So I tried to like merge really big rocks into the world rocks by using the tool mod, and yeah, I feel like that turned out really great. I used a lot of cactuses as well throughout the environment, and a lot of spray painting went happen. You know, this is more than enough for like a very nice vacation home. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, let me know by leaving a like and subscribing. And yeah, comment down below what you guys would like to see in the future. Goodbye.